Welcome to the chaos.
Next time on Welcome to the Chaos.
You do the intro then.
I don't want to do the intro.
All right, cool. I'll do the intro.
You're the intro, man.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to the Chaos. I'm your host, Mikey Tableman, alongside one of my best friends and co-hosts.
Go, Miss J. Danny. Mirror that.
Yo, man. And today in the Chaos, we have a legend. And when I say we have a legend, he goes by one name and one name only.
Tomik.
Yes.
That's it. That's a show, folks.
That's it.
That's it. Thanks for coming.
Legendary nightclub promoter, now currently co-founder and running the Mammoth Film Festival, which is doing great. Yo, brother, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is amazing.
Mammoth.
Got a little Mikey here and everything.
Hey, buddy, what you working on back there?
Now, yo, I appreciate when like people from like our old school, like, because I was a really little kid when I started here, and this group was the first people I met, and I'm just like, oh yeah, we go back.
Yeah, these are the OGs right here.
With degenerate stories. Yeah, I was like the last of the OGs.
I used to work Tomik's table all the time.
Oh yeah.
All the
No,
time.
what was that? Guillermo? What was the other little?
Oh,
Oh man,
the one that passed away.
Oh no,
The Godfather.
Godfather.
He was all TSAs. He was the first one. Gregorio.
Gregorio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gregorio.
He passed
Called
on,
him the
man.
Godfather. He was like the first original TSA, and then we all kind of got jobs. So like he was the Godfather.
Man.
Oh, man.
Those days, I feel so bad for all of us.
Yeah. Well, let's start off there. Tell us about your nightlife days and how you got into it, and I mean condense it because we'll go.
Yeah, no, I mean, it
stories.
was crazy. We were so young. Like the fact that any club owner would allow a couple of, early 20-something guys to come in there and just run amok and just run the show was beyond me. We're like, we need 6 more bottles. They're like, oh, yeah, it's coming, sir. I'm like, what? But why are they listening to us?
Right.
But it was amazing, man. We opened the doors to some incredible clubs back in the day. And, you look back and on that era, I guess you can call it now, because we're kind of like in a whole new
It really was.
era. Yeah, like your parents would say, like, back in my day. I feel like we're saying back in my day now. Like, we have a back in my day.
It was like back in the Studio 54, like they
Yeah,
had that.
right.
Like,
Yeah,
we
that
had
was
our,
like
we had
our
our
Studio
own.
54 was like Ledoux and like,
But your group of promoters, like back in the day, were so much cooler, nicer. There was no ego. Everyone was so chill compared to what there is now. And promoters think they run this city, and it's just
well,
like
I would like to disagree with you there. I would kindly disagree with you. Well, it was interesting then is because like you had certain venues on certain nights and you had certain groups promoting, right? And like it was where you went on what night and like who was doing it. So everybody kind of had their little clique. It was like, and it was always a duo. It was like Brett and Tomik or like Casey and Ponce. Like it was always like these teams of people that promoted. And everybody kind of like at first was doing their own thing, but as you got older, you kind of started working together a little bit on some crossover. But everybody wanted to have that marquee night. There was some egos in the beginning, but I think it relaxed over time a little bit.
So what was your marquee night that made you guys famous?
Man, you know what's crazy? We took a lot of chances and stuff. Like we wanted to do like the cool kids clubs and stuff. Like I mentioned Ledoux. Like we were excited to be a part of that. That was like kind of the days of like paparazzi was starting to come around, like you had like the Parises and those like reality shows. That was a whole different era. But I remember we started doing a club called Supper Club, right? It was different because it was massive. It was like the first like Miami style nightclub like in LA. And that's when house music DJs kind of became big. So, we connected with like Pasquale over at Insomniac, and then he started giving us DJs. So we had Benny Benassi, we had Cascade, we had all these guys DJing this mega club. And it was kind of different. It was like this weird crossover from like the small cool kids clubs where it was like, you can't get in or you can't sit here to, I mean, I don't even know what you would call it. Like we shut down Hollywood Boulevard with Cascade once and caused a riot on accident. Like it got to that point. It's another story.
I think I remember. I remember
you can
Summer Club.
Google, like Cascade Hollywood Boulevard riots and there's me and my old buddy driving the truck with Cascade on the bed of the truck, DJing on the way to the EDC premieres. Like, just go through the police barricade. I'm like, no. He's like, I'll bail us out of jail. I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's bananas. So I don't think there was like this one moment that like, or this one club that I think kind of set us off, but it started back at like the Cabana clubs and Mood. And then,
How do you even get into that? Like, how do you just showed up? Because
so I grew up in LA. I grew up here in a little town called Burbank. It's really glamorous. And one of my buddies who was like a year or two older than me was promoting. His name is Justin Kelly. He was promoting clubs, and I used to go out when I was in town. I'd call him up and go out to clubs on the weekends. And I would be there and we'd be hanging out. And I'm like, dude, this is cool, man. I want to do this. He's like, no. He would kind of big time me all the time. And then one day he was like, okay, fine. You start on Saturday. I was like, what? And like, just like that, I became a promoter. It's like, okay, I got to be there on Saturday and I got to bring people. You know, I'm hitting up friends and calling girls that I know. But I grew up in LA, so it was easy to start promoting.
Yeah.
If you grew up here, you have a base of bodies that you can bring out. You know, I literally simply just called 20 of my friends that I went to school with. I'm like, hey guys, I can get us all into this club tonight and drink tickets.
Yeah. Fucking easy sell.
Yeah, drink tickets, you know, like you don't have to wait in line and, you know, you walk up and hand your ticket and get some like well drink.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's kind of how it started, and it started exploding from there. It just boomed.
So how'd you go from Jason Kelly to then Brett and Tomik running your guys' own promotion team and, you know, really taking over clubs and having your own nights?
Yeah, you know, you start going out and you start bringing people, and it really depends on like who you're bringing in that crowd, and you kind of start figuring out where you want to be and who wants to work with you. I was at an event where I think I met Brett, and he was, you know, had another partner, and I was working with Justin where he was working with somebody else, and him and I kind of connected and hit it off or whatnot. You know, it's all a blur. But him and I connected. We started working together and doing some stuff. We started doing events, promoting clubs together and getting bigger clubs and bigger accounts and getting more money. And we transitioned from promoting to producing events. That was kind of the weird thing that happened to us that got us out of nightlife and into being event producers. And then from there, you know, the sky's the limit. It was rare for like promoters to have like offices and stuff back then. You just kind of work at home. You just wake up at noon, order a pizza, and just do it all over
and
again.
Text people all day.
Yeah. You're just sitting on the phone. You know, we called it a bang session. We'd all sit around and just like bang on our phones and like, all right, oh, this group's coming out tonight, or this guy's buying a table. You know, you'd all sit together like collectively and just go to work. And then you're like, all right, tonight's looking great. We got these people coming out. Then you'd show up. It was like clocking in, and you'd host and you'd have a good time. You were the face of it. So it's twofold. You do that work to like get people there, and then once they're there, you're hosting them. But with that comes meeting people and meeting, you know, a certain person that I met that we became close with, who then asked us to do an event at his home, you know, with like a lot of money. And we're like, yeah, of course we can produce a private event at your house. We had no idea what we were doing. You know, we call our buddy who does that. And then that turned into like big private events, you know, doing stuff for Paris and for, you know, Seth MacFarlane and this rich guy and so on and so forth. But, and then that transitioned us out of promoting and into producing events. And then from there into like getting brands involved and then doing experiential marketing stuff. And like, there's this growth, you know, but, you know, and I credit my old partner for a lot of the stuff, because he's like, dude, we should get an office and, you know, we should be in here. And like, I want to wake up at noon and
let's
eat
go
pizza.
legit.
No,
Yeah,
let's go legit in the office
do
at 9
something
a.m. and work.
work.
Yeah. And it was cool.
That's cool, because you don't see a lot of people, like so many people get caught up in nightlife, especially in that part, because it's just a party. You get whatever the you want.
Right.
So for you guys to be able to focus and be like, yo, there's a big future here. And like you said, you growing up in Burbank, everyone's coming up with you. And now a lot of people you're friends with, people you work with are all doing very well.
Right.
Big in the scene. Like,
right. Yeah. You know, I always knew I wanted to do something in entertainment. I just didn't know what it was. And you kind of learned. There was no handbook then. You just kind of went along with it. You're like, oh, this is cool. Now this is happening. Now we're on this wave and we're riding this wave. And you kept going. And we kind of like pave the road, I guess, for some people. You know, the first person through the wall always gets bloodied, and that was us. We had to go through it, you know, and set that tone for the people behind us. But, you know, when we got that office, you'd have other promoters come in there and be like, oh, this is cool, man. You guys have like desks and stuff? Like, well, what's on the papers? Like, you guys write stuff? What is this? And we're like, we don't know either. We're in here. But that just like allowed us to do things and meet new people. And like,
it made you more professional.
Yeah, more professional. So other promoters would come in and be like, yo, man, can we work out of here with you guys? And people wanted to work with us. And then you utilize that, and we didn't know what we were doing. We're just figuring it out. But we had a pretty good idea of like, we utilize our relationships and our network is what's important. And knowing now I didn't know then that those things would help me where I am today in those relationships. I just did the best I could and was good to people. And that helped me where I am now. If I just fucked off and treated people like shit, I wouldn't be able to do some of the things that I'm doing now. I think that was like the one good thing that
I feel like that's so lost on this industry in this city, because like we've all seen so many people that are fucking terrible human beings, but we were all kinds of people.
It's called hospitality for a reason,
and there's,
you know,
it's missing that hospitality part lately. Like,
they put the hospital in hospitality.
That was one of the things that I remember about you the most, was that you treated everyone with respect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
like,
so
you
kind
too,
when I
like,
was at
we all got
TSA.
along. Like we all had our jobs, but we had to work together to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and back then it was a lot of like, I'm doing this and you're doing this. Like everybody kind of did it individually, but I'm a big fan of like of a community these days. And there's things I couldn't do without, you know, without my community, without my village.
Yeah.
And you know, I love helping people when I can. I love asking for help when I need it. And you know, what's the worst they can say? No.
Yeah.
And if they do, I've called Mikey for stuff. You know, I'm like, hey man, sorry to bug you. He goes, dude, you're crazy. What do you need?
Yeah.
And then like a week will go by. He'll call me up and follow up. He's like, hey man, I got you that stuff. I was like, dude, that's amazing. Like very few people do that, but you're seeing more and more of that these days. And that's what we're trying to put out, especially with the film festival. Like that's why we're so different than other festivals. It's so personal. Like you don't go to Sundance and like Robert Redford, who owns it, is like, hey man, I watched your short.
Yeah.
It was great. I'm like, that's not happening. But you know, I'll be at the festival and someone will be like, hey, thank you so much for having us. I'm like, what was your movie? She's like, oh, it's called so-and-so. I'm like, oh, that's the one with the girl and the thing. She goes, oh my God, you've seen it? I'm like, we'd love to try to watch all the projects. We like to know what's happening, kind of like hand in hand and help each other out. I think that's a really good foundation to start at, and only good things can come from there.
Yeah, I think a big theme on this show that's coming up a lot is like, because we're interviewing all these people that were in Nightlife with us and now are gone on to bigger and better things.
Right.
And we've all used that network. And
Yes.
I think so many people in this industry so underappreciate
Yeah.
and don't realize like, yo, it doesn't matter where you went to school.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like who you're connected with
Right.
and who with you
Yeah.
is what's going to make or break you.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Like I didn't know what I was going to do in school. Like you'd have to take tests and get good grades and pass. Like there was no classes for marketing or like entrepreneurship. Like hell, they didn't even teach you how to open a bank account or what credit scores are.
Mhm.
You know, we just kind of figure that out as you get older. That's what's great about now. There are programs, there's educational stuff. There's YouTube University. That's where I learn everything, man.
Yeah.
You know, what I would tell people is it doesn't matter what you want to do. Anything you want to do, you can learn it now online.
Right.
Like I taught myself how to do Photoshop, to design stuff for myself to save money. You know, like I'm online learning contracts so I can do my own stuff and not pay a lawyer. Like there's so many ways that you can empower and enrich yourself just online and the tools that are available that weren't then.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, we harness those relationships as well. So it's you never know who's going to be doing what when they get older, like you said, you know, like your buddy's just your buddy then, and 5 years later he's a celebrity, and you're like, hey, I'm so glad I was so nice to him.
Right.
Oh,
I'm gonna need you to come out and walk the carpet.
So how much
But-
of that network then helped? Because obviously you touched on
Yeah.
the film festival and what you guys are doing is so
Yeah.
cool. And I know it's been growing and expanding. How much of that network and those people that you didn't realize
Yeah.
were going to be so helpful kind of brought you
Big
to
time.
this point? And like,
Yeah.
what made you guys decide, yo, we're going to throw a film festival? Because that, and not that it came out of
Yeah,
nowhere, but we were
no.
all like, that's f***ing cool and different.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Like, you know, I you know, growing up in Burbank or in LA in general, everyone's an actor. Their parents are directors and producers. You kind of grow up around that. You know, I acted when I was younger, and it was cool. You kind of grow up doing that. And then my business partner, Tanner Beard, the co-founder of the festival with me, he grew up also acting, writing, directing. He's had films compete in like all the major film festivals in the world, like Cannes, Venice, Tribeca. I mean, you name it. He's been to all of them. My background with event production and marketing, his background in like producing and attending festivals, we teamed up. He came up to me, he goes, dude, you grew up going to Mammoth. Like, I want to do a festival. And I think Mammoth would be dope. You know about Mammoth, you know about events, you know how to produce, you know all this shit. Let's go up there and take a look and see if that's something that we can do together. You know, he approached me about it. So we got in the car, we drove up, we got there and it was amazing. We're like, when do we start? It was just literally like, you just pulled the trigger and do it. You could sit there and plan and come up with stuff. We just decided we're doing it. We picked a date and then went to work on it. But it wouldn't be as big as it is right out the gate without using our network. You know, we could have announced on Facebook, hey guys, come to the festival, buy tickets on Facebook. No, it's Sharon Stone sending a tweet like Mammoth Film Festival. You know, we had this, you know, actor and this director talking about it. And that was just friends of ours. So we were able to expedite like our visibility in the world with the festival, utilizing our network and people that were happy to talk about it and support us and say, hey guys, I've never even been, they've never even done one, but it's going to be awesome and you should go. So that network really helped us out. And I think that's what really helped jumpstart the festival, like take it from 0 to 60, where most people don't have that opportunity. They got to work to get up there. And a lot of
Yeah,
people
just work to get to zero.
Yeah, to zero. And a lot of people in the entertainment industry want to be a writer, director, producer. What do? You write a script, you send it to an agency, some assistant reads it, puts notes on it. You're following up. Hey, did so-and-so read it? With this festival, what's really cool is that We can invite all of those people up there, and it's mutually beneficial. They want to show a movie. They want to buy movies. They want to meet talent. They want to discover people. We created this platform to where they can all come up there together, have a good time. And then now I'm not like calling them asking if they read my script. They're calling me saying, I had a blast. Like, we should work on something together. Do you have a script? Do you want to produce something? So it's kind of like working from the top down, which has been really interesting. And we're just bringing everybody along for the ride with it. Like, come be a part of this thing. Come meet people in person and network and shake hands and help each other out and build this community.
I'm going.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
It's great. I mean,
I'm going to hit you up. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, remember that podcast you were on?
Yeah, of course, dude.
But I wanted to ask.
I'll pass this for you guys. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
Let's go right now.
Let's do it.
Let's go right now.
See y'all later.
Episode's over.
Yeah.
See you next time on Chaos. Peace.
The rest of the show is just like empty seats.
It's just us in the
And
snow.
we
Like,
point-
this was a
and
bad
we point-
idea.
Yeah. You're pushing me up.
Yeah.
I'm rolling down a hill.
Sorry, bro. We can't go any further.
Yeah. And I'm just like, just go, man.
Let's go, man. Leave him.
I'll be like Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining, all frozen and shit.
Yeah, but the
Right, you know that reminds me of how many times we'd be out at an after party like, yo, let's go to Vegas. Everyone's like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. We hop in the car
Yeah,
after an hour and drive. We're like,
Vegas,
man, this is a
Vegas.
terrible idea. Let's turn around. Let's turn around.
it's funny you say
I
after
never
party.
turned around. I went all the way.
Yeah, I don't know what group of guys you were with that pussed out and turned around. Like,
Right,
we
right,
went all-
right.
We
Yeah.
went.
I was one of the guys who pussed out. I was like, yo, this, turn around.
Me and Remy, one morning, we partied super late, and the sun was
Remy's
up,
a
and we were
fucking
walking out of a
psycho.
situation, and I was like, all right, man, it's late. I'm gonna go get some sleep. He's like, you go get some sleep. I'll talk to you in a couple hours, and we'll go to the pool party. I FaceTime him a couple hours later, like, I took like a 4-hour nap or something. I wake up and I'm like, hey, Rem, what's up, bro? Let's go. And he's raging. There's this party happening behind him. I'm like, where are you? He's like, dude, I'm at 14. I'm like, what? He left the party, got in a car, drove to LA, and went to 14 on Sunday at Colony.
What? I was there.
That was my favorite party.
Yeah.
Dude, 14 was something else. There's nothing like it.
Nothing
Yeah.
like it.
Nothing like it.
Before we get into crazy stories, I just want to get more into that film festival
Yeah.
shows. I want to hear, honestly,
Yeah.
personally, we haven't got to catch up in a while.
Right.
So like, how many years has this been?
Yeah.
And like, what's been the coolest part of the growth? And like, where do you see you guys? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, there's so much support for you guys. Like, the sky's the
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it really has been that. It's been support. Really could not be doing any of this without the support of everybody involved. But I like to think that we've built something that helps everybody out. So I'm not asking a favor for stuff. Like I'm providing them with something as well. I'm giving them a platform to come screen their films and their projects. And they're helping me out by attending. We're on our 5th year. It would have been year 6, but we took a year off because of the COVID situation, the pandemic. We were like the last film festival in the nation to go right before COVID hit. Like, COVID was just like a coronavirus meme on Instagram when, like, on the last day of our festival, nobody knew what it was yet. Right. And then you fly to LA 3 days later, the whole country shut down. You're like, oh shit. And then we were the first festival to come back post-COVID when the regulations allowed us to do it, which was really neat. Everybody came out. But we're on year 5. It's been growing steadily, talent-wise, film-wise, quality-wise. We used to do, I think, 5 world premiere features in a year. I think we're doing 15 or 16 this year. Wow. We've like already predominantly become a world premiere festival, which is cool. You know, if your movie's shown at 20 festivals, like, that's fine. That's great for you as a filmmaker, but we don't want that. We want you to premiere here. We want you to get the press, bring your people out. Let's celebrate your movie. So that's what we've been doing, and it's been great. And I can't believe some of the people that have been coming out to support it. We do this really cool thing on the weekend of the festival every year. It's our celebrity charity bowling tournament.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's this bowling alley up there that does not look like a Mammoth bowling alley, by the way. It's like a Lucky Strike. It's super nice. Like, it's a brand new bowling alley. And we do 4 teams of 5 celebrities. And then we've had like Tony Hawk, Dennis Rodman, Rebel Wilson, Michael Madsen. I mean, you name it. People have come out and played on this thing. Yeah,
fucking
dude, he threw this awful gutter ball like right when the ball left his hand. It like hit the gutter and he like faked a knee injury. He's like, oh. And he was on my team. So like, we lost to Tony Hawk, who got like 6 strikes in a row. That guy's a savage.
Dennis, I worked on when I worked on Bourbon Street.
Oh, yeah.
Like, way before I came out to LA, I worked at a Cajun restaurant, and they had a Cajun band with like that washboard.
Oh,
with the
no
spoons.
way.
Dennis Rodman came in, and he jumped on stage and put the washboard on. He was like,
He's wild, man. He's cool,
Psycho.
super friendly.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He just rolls around with a Ziploc bag full of Cuban cigars and a flip phone.
what?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got no Instagram. He's got no nothing. He just makes calls. He's got that whole like China thing going with his phone.
No shit.
I just watched his documentary, man. Like, he's an interesting
He
human
is.
being.
He is. He's very interesting. He's super cool, man, but we love him. But it's guys like that coming out. It's everything from like athletes to actors. You know, we do action sports because we're in the mountains, which has been really cool. Our good friend Luke Trembeth, aka Dingo in the Snow. He's amazing. He's a snowboarder. He's worked with Monster. He's got this charity called Find Your Grind, which has been a big part of our festival in the past years. And they're helping like young kids figure out what they want to do when they get older, because not everybody's going to be a doctor or a lawyer or this and that. They've created this really cool program where you can go online and fill out this like questionnaire, and it gives you these options that just aren't offered in schools. Like, hey, like a musician, like an artist, and this and that, like different other routes, an entrepreneur, so on and so forth. You can click on that. It shows you how you can do those things that maybe don't fit the mold of schools. But there's people that are creatives that just don't know how to express that or don't know what to do for a living.
Yeah.
I was conflicted, like growing up, like. I was good at math and English and history and all that stuff, but I didn't want to like have your everyday job. And all my teachers were like, "You're so smart, you're so creative." I didn't know what to do with that except acting, and it was a progression. And now where I am, it kind of all led to here.
Yeah.
I was producing parties, and then I transitioned to producing movies. Now I'm kind of producing parties for movies. But
Come full circle.
the full circle, yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, but you figure it out. It's this progression. It's this growth, and you get there, and you just kind of ride that wave. Find one little thing that you like, and just stick with that, and just give it your all. Even if it doesn't work out, why not? You can't do everything. You can't half-ass anything. If you like one thing, try it out, go all the way. And we did it with the festival. We didn't know what it was going to be. We're not reinventing the wheel. This has been done. There's like 1,000 plus film festivals. But if I asked you right now, name 5 film festivals.
Sundance, South by Southwest, Palm Springs,
TIFF, Con.
Con.
Yeah, you guys just listed like the top 10.
Yeah.
Right? There's like
hundreds.
1,178 more festivals.
Yeah.
It's like the Sheboygan, Idaho, not international short film writers contest festival. They're out there. Like, they exist. We're not reinventing the wheel. But what we did is we just picked a little piece of like all kind of the top festivals that we liked and put them together. For example, you come to the festival and one of our world premiere features is done. You leave, you go to the after party. I like to take the movie off the screen and bring it to life as an experience. We had a movie with Ashley Greene, Kate Bosworth, and Emile Hirsch that we premiered called Immaculate Room. In the movie, they were like in this all white void, and they had to live there for like 50 days, and like you win like $20 million or something. When that movie was done, we went to the after party. We took a section of the room and we built out part of the set for that movie. So you got to come in and like sit on that bed from the movie and like draw on the walls like he was doing and stuff like that, creating these experiences, and that just enriches the movie and the press you get on it and people talking about it on social. So I'm trying to create more of an experience festival.
Because I've done Sundance.
Yeah.
I think I did Sundance like 5-6 years in a row, and I threw a majority of the parties up there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that. It was just like we had a room, there was
Sponsored
a
brands,
bar,
a
sponsors,
yeah.
Rage, cool.
Yeah.
Do it again tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
there was none of
Right.
that.
And that's there. We all do that. That's just a business model.
Yeah.
But
we've
yeah,
done
create
it, though.
something. Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
like, I think we're so, like, it's not fun to just, I don't like just throwing part. Like, I don't
Right.
like doing the festivals
Right.
anymore. It's just, it's not, we've done it. It's there. It's like, there's so much more we can do.
Right.
There's so much more we can
It's
expand
elevating
on.
that experience, this whole like experiential marketing. I get it. It's like being able to like touch, feel, interact with the product or the brand or the service. That's what's really cool. Like, what do we did a thing for the show 24. Hollywood Highland has this huge courtyard in the center. We built this like glass box that housed, I think, like 100 contestants that sat in there one morning, and we launched this 24 contest. We started episode 1, season 1, hit play. Those contestants had to stay awake as long as they could. The last person to stay awake wins, I forget, like $20,000 or something. I think they got like 3 days, and it was down to like 2 people. The last person fell asleep. It's creating these experiences. And the walls were glass. So when the sun comes up and the shopping center gets busy and people start showing up, they're watching these people. These people are in there like still going, but it was so cool to watch this interaction happen. And then we did it again for The Simpsons because they love the idea so much. So it's creating these really cool, unique, memorable moments that people can walk away and talk about. And I think that's kind of like my contribution to the festival. We're doing the festival, but bringing a little bit of that into it. And it's hard because we're trying to explain this to people and like sell it to brands and stuff and get people to, we need money to do this. We're a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. I'm like, hey guys, I'd love to do it, but come on, Jack Daniels, I need this 50 grand.
Yeah.
And they're like, that sounds cool. We get it. Let us know how it goes. And we'll talk
back.
next year.
Always.
So I'm over here selling it. I'm just trying my hardest. And then they see it and then they love it. And then they come in. So it's an uphill battle.
So on the uphill battle part, like I'm producing events all over the world too, bro. It's fucking stressful.
Yes.
It is stressful.
Yes.
Especially like you're saying, you're trying to
I
do
was
something.
late today. I was working. It's stressful.
But like you're trying, like you're saying, like, cause I know what that's like too. You're trying to do something that nobody's done before.
Right.
People are intrigued. So like, what is the mental toll that's taken on you, Tanner? Like, cause bro, there's a lot that like people don't realize how much it is, what it takes to throw an event to that magnitude.
You're absolutely right. You know better than anybody what it takes because everything we do isn't conventional. It's not like you're walking into a venue where there's a bar built and a back bar and a walk-in and a refrigerator and all that stuff. We build stuff from scratch, from the ground up. So there's a lot of moving parts. And if one thing falls through, it's like a whole chain reaction. Like I have the whole bowling tournament is like kind of set. I've done the pre-pro on it. Then I find out like the bleachers or whatever that we're using. The guy's like, hey, I can't get the manpower to do it because we have another event. That little thing, it's not just about me finding bleachers to replace it. I found them, but they're in LA. Now they have to go in a truck that I don't have room for. That now I need to make room for. That brings on weight to that. Like it's this chain reaction.
Or it's going to cost you more money, which you don't have the budget for, and you got to go ask your fucking
it's super stressful. But I love that stuff. I like being busy. I like the challenges and like overcoming those things. I don't like things being easy, which I think you need to be able to appreciate to do what we do.
You addicted to the adrenaline, you think a little bit.
I love it.
Same.
It's the best.
Like I don't
it's
like
the best.
after doing shows, I'm like, all right, cool. I got like 2 weeks off. The first 3 days, I'm like, yo, this is amazing. By day 4, I'm like,
what do we do?
What do we do?
Yeah,
what
Tanner and I will be sitting in his living room and we'll come up with a new business. Dude, like during COVID, we were playing golf a lot. Like all my boys play, so they drag me out. I'm the worst. I look like I know what I'm doing. I got nice gear, but I have no idea what I'm doing. And we're like, oh, dude, like these golf shirts suck. It's hot out. We said, what if there was like a better golf shirt? Like created a golf shirt and we started selling online and like got on all these websites and we're like generating all this revenue off golf shirts. And then we're like, dude, we're crushing Red Bulls and coffees in the morning. Like those liquid IV things would be cool if there was like like I could just pour it into my drink in the morning. So we created like a boost and focus golf supplement like during COVID and it had like a little side biz. We just couldn't sit still. We couldn't sit still, man. We were just creating stuff. It's fun though. It's a challenge. And I think that's another example of you don't just have to do one thing and be good at it. Try a few different things because you have the chance to do that.
They
the
all come
opportunities.
together. The people that are the most successful are the ones that are able to multitask.
Right.
And then, like you said, multitask, but not be afraid to be like, it, let's try this. If it doesn't work, you understand there's gonna be a chain reaction.
Yeah, people say like try something and like it's okay if you fail. Like I don't see it as like the word fail isn't the word. Like it's a lesson. You learn. Try and then you learn and then you go on and you move forward. People kind of like fail. That was a cool message at first, but it does sound kind of scary. Nobody wants to fail. Yeah. But you want to be uncomfortable. That's growth. When you're like in a place where you're like, shit, if I take this leap, it's going to cost me more money or time. I got to do this. I'm going to be tight for a little while on my budget, but that's growth. It's called being uncomfortable.
But then it's also being able to juggle multiple projects. Right. You guys were doing this film festival. Didn't Tanner just produce like the Whitney Houston movie?
Yeah, Tanner was an executive producer on I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Which is a massive movie.
And they're working on Basquiat and Andy Warhol movie right now. They got a bunch of stuff in the works.
As he's doing the film festival.
As he's doing the festival.
Wow.
So that's the other thing. Like we'll be at the festival, right? And we have stuff coming up that for example, during the festival, Tanner's also an actor. He actually low-key booked like a role on I don't know, it's like 1923 or Yellowstone or one of those.
What Yellowstone, yeah.
But they're like, we shoot on March 2nd and 3rd in like Texas. He's like, that's during the festival. So like he can't do that. Or like during the festival, there's like press for another movie that he's produced or that we have to go to. And there's been days where like I'll hold down the fort if homeboy's got to drive to LA for something for a day and come back, or if I have to skate out to go do something and come back. Like, where's Tomik? He's like, oh yeah, he's in the bathroom.
Yeah, 2 days.
I show up 8 hours. Yeah.
That's the importance of, like you said, having a community, having a good team of people. Like
you got to trust your people and be able to like hold each other. I have no idea what he's doing at the office right now. He's handling like talent and movies and distribution and stuff. I'm over here sourcing stuff, doing pre-pro, staffing, building all the production, the graphics, the design, all that stuff. And then we'll meet up and I trust that he's done what he's doing. He trusts that I've done what I'm doing.
You each have a lane.
Yes.
And when everybody knows to stay in their own lane and it works in unison,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
It's just scary when you start like adding lanes to it and it goes from like a highway to a freeway and there's a lot of lanes moving.
And
a lot of cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's scary, but it's exciting, you know? Try it. Do it. Doesn't work, you learned.
I think that's one thing that taught us, working in nightlife is how to work in those high stress, high
intensity,
energy, high intensity, how to multitask.
Right. And like he's at the table. I doubt you were sober when you were working, but like you'd come to the table and we were raging and like we need more ice and bottles. Like it's just because we need it for this guy because he's gonna spend more money, and then everyone's gonna get paid and tipped out well. Like it was just this ecosystem.
Yeah, man. We were fresh muddling shots at that time. Remember?
With the strawberries?
We had the bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This guy's got a muddler.
Fucking somebody's choking me from behind.
He's like the mint.
Somebody was like, "Why don't we mix that up and mix it?"
Yeah,
what a wonderful idea! Oh my god,
Bro, that shit used to give me the
Oh,
worst
excuse me.
fucking hangover.
Oh,
That
man.
watermelon juice.
Oh yeah, the watermelon
so good,
juice,
though.
That's what it was.
Bro, and I remember after Beyonce came out with that song, every girl wanted the watermelon shot, and we're just like, fucking A.
Yeah, and speaking of songs and Beyonce and stuff, like the clubs and parties, we did like our rap songs, like like Drake's 20 bottles,
Grey
that's all,
Stone,
whatever.
20
Grey Stone,
bottles.
like that was us,
Bro, I remember being
It's crazy.
at Greystone.
Yeah,
when
well,
that
we were
song
there when
here,
that
and
was
Drake
yeah.
was on the
Yeah.
fucking
With
couch.
20 bottles, it's bananas.
Where you were at Greystone? Oh my god!
Like,
Yeah.
people back home would hit me up. It's like, oh my God, I saw this place Greystone on this, and all in there.
Yeah,
Like,
isn't that the
wait, we
place?
saw
Yeah.
your Instagram. You're there? I'm like, yeah, I worked there. Like, oh my
What?
God, how great is it? I'm like, honestly, it's really not as great as
Yeah,
you think.
and well, that's another variable that we have too, right? That's like kind of a gift a little bit. Living here, being here, like being in this world. Like, can other people in Ohio do what we're doing? Sure, some of it, but we are kind of fortunate enough to be in that environment to have these tools that were kind of maybe given to us rather than coming here and trying to like find it, earn it.
Well, we live in a different reality. So like,
Yeah, it's easy for us to say. Yeah.
But I'm saying even like to make it here, because everybody who's the best of the best of where they're
Right,
from is coming
right.
here trying to do that.
Right.
And no offense to people in Ohio, but it's like y'all got the same little pool of
Yeah.
things that you've been doing. So
Yeah.
it's like we have so much more against us coming up, and we're going up against
Right,
people fucking that
absolutely.
are
Sure.
especially when you're doing film acting, you're going against people that are already established, and you're like,
Right. Like when I do a movie and I need so and so like in it, and I happen to be friends with the guy, and it's easy for me to call him and be like, "Hey, bro, would you read this script?" Imagine coming here and being a writer and wanting to get that movie made with that actor. You gotta call the agency. You gotta get
process.
so many steps. Chances are very low that that's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's all about connections.
It's
It's and
everything.
networking.
Anytime you go to like a film school or a panel or anything, people raise their hands like, "What's the best advice?" or "What should I do?" Like, "Where should I go to school? What should I study?" Great, go learn everything you can, but get out there, meet people,
talk to everybody.
talk to everybody, get in rooms.
And as an actor, like I just started cutting my teeth after my accident.
Yeah.
On short films.
And you've been crushing, bro.
Yeah.
He just started cutting his teeth on it. It's
Yeah,
just-
yeah. Well, because like when I was TSAing
Yeah.
at your table,
Yeah.
and I was an actor. I was one of those
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I'm an actor. Never went to class.
Yeah,
Never did
right,
anything.
right.
Went to an audition every now and then. I just had an audition.
When you weren't strung
Never
out.
booked anything.
Yeah, but I was an actor.
I'm hungover as shit at the audition. Mouth's all dry and shit. So like when I lost that distraction, now I'm finally training and I'm booking shit and I can actually say I'm an actor and I feel
Right.
good about
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of like those high stress situations that
Right.
taught me,
Yeah. Well,
how to
being
deal with
at
shit
those
now.
things, like you just being at the clubs and stuff, right? You partying and not going to classes and stuff, it didn't matter because the people that you were interacting with at these events and these clubs and these parties, they were casting directors, they were, producers, they were people that are like just putting you in stuff.
You could bypass everybody.
Yeah, you're bypassing, and then you got this kid who's like living in a like somebody's garage, sharing a room with 3 people, going to acting class and self-taping every day and
Yeah.
going to auditions. And he's like, "I was the best one in that room. I can't believe I didn't get it. I'm not going to make it." And then they move back home.
yeah.
And then here you are partying and the guy's like, "Dude, I'm doing this thing. There's like this role for this like really like funny, good looking dude. You should do it. Like come by on Monday and
Yeah.
read the script."
Yeah, I mean,
He
that's
just got a role. He's bypassed everything.
That's how I got when I first agents. I would party with her all the time.
Yeah.
She's like, "Are you still acting?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but
She's like, great, come in. I've got some stuff for you.
Yeah.
Boom. What?
I have some
You imagine
deep-rooted mental
somebody-
issues right now, but I'll do it.
Fucking 8 a.m. conversation turns into a film part. You're like,
Dude,
I didn't
I
even
hate
know what
to
the fuck
say
I was
it.
saying
Yeah,
at 8 a.m.
yeah.
at that point. Just
Dude, you'd party all night with somebody, and then you'd go home, and then come Monday morning, you talk to that executive. You're like, "Hey, did you have a good time?" He goes, "Dude, that was a blast." I'm like, "Cool, man. What can we do together?" He goes, "Yeah, dude, come by. Let's work together on something."
that's the big thing that people don't realize is us throwing these events, these parties. We provide something that money can buy.
Right.
But you also have to know us to be able
Absolutely.
to, like,
Sure.
money can buy to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Most people don't have the money it costs, but you have to be friends with us to be able to be in that circle.
Absolutely. And people like don't even like come here now and try to like go to like film schools and stuff. They try to go out and get into those circles.
Yeah.
That's like the new academy. That's the new school.
That's the new way to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's like, hey, I want to be in that circle of people. Like they're all cool. They're all writers and they all work. Like, how do I get into that group?
So let's talk about your festival. Maybe if we have like filmmakers who are listening or watching right now, what's the format like? Like, how do you accept films? Like, what?
Yeah, man, it's similar to a lot of festivals. Like, and this isn't me saying it. I think it was like a Variety. They call this the next Sundance.
Hey!
We're like a mini Sundance. We're
you're
a
closer.
winter film festival, and we're closer.
So much closer.
Yeah, the snow's amazing. It's
That's
close.
why I said I'm going there, dude.
Yeah,
I'm going.
man.
I'm gonna be there.
We do it all. Shorts, features, documentaries, international, action, sports. We
Podcast?
jumped ahead of the. We haven't done podcasts. We're looking to have somebody out there doing podcasts.
Well, you don't say.
Yeah. We've kind of created like our own little podcast called The Loop that we do out there. It's like our own interview studio that we bring talent in. So we should talk.
Network.
Hey, there you go.
Network,
You're in.
see?
You're hired.
And there's probably other people that are like, man, we've wanted to do this for years. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh, yo, buddy, we should do this.
Yeah.
And somebody watched us like, fuck you guys.
I'll get you guys in. I know
get a whole
I know
pack.
the owner.
I know the other.
You get the podcast studio. You get the f***ing party thrower. You get the actor.
Oh,
you get all
we got
kinds
it
of
all.
shit.
We
You
got
put
it
us
all.
He
It's a
can
package
act
right
as
here.
well.
We want a clinic.
I can still sling some drinks.
The watermelon.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
No, but let's be real. Like, if say we were to do something like that, it's just with our relationships. All right, cool. He's like, all right, I know that you and your team know how to set this up.
Yeah.
This is a space we're giving you. Yo, this brand is interested. Cool, go do it. This is something dope to our
100%.
festival. We don't have to worry about it.
Because I'll
And,
get like cold calls or emails from people like, hey, like I'll get an email from somebody like, hey, we'd love to come out there and like do our podcast there. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Cool. Like, what do you need from us? And they're like, oh, do you guys have a space for us? I'm busy. Like, you email me like, hey, we want to come up do a podcast. I'm like, dope, dude. You guys should get like rooms at the Sierra Nevada Hotel. They have a lobby there. You guys should set up there. It'd be dope. And I'll get you some passes. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Again, just knowing people. But also those people reach out and some of that stuff works. Don't be afraid to reach out and cold call people.
But also, like you said earlier, it's about we've all been friends for a long time. You were really kind to us as TSAs. We're like, yo, this is a really good dude. So we
I
always
appreciate
make
that.
sure
Right.
you and Brett were taken care
Right,
of. Like,
right,
there are
right.
some promoters I was like, I'm not
100%. And I never got that. I'm
Yeah.
like, why are you being
like treating us like shit, and it's like
Yeah.
for what? And then you complain that you don't have your stuff. Well, maybe because if you would have
Right.
so it's just. But
They're
even like you
looking
said,
over and we're like, yeah, we got watermelon juice. today."
exactly. But even like I said, like you never know where it's gonna be. Where it's like, yo, I haven't seen you in years. He hasn't
Right.
seen you in years. It's like, yo, let's get together. It's like I saw you yesterday.
You never know how just being kind or just nice or smiling to not even for work or gain or relationships or any of that, just to a person and how it's going to affect them. You'll never see that person again, but you don't know what they're dealing with when they go home. You might have just changed their entire trajectory.
Right.
Just do it.
The world is
No
such
matter
a
what, pay it
shitty
forward.
The world is such a shitty place right
Yeah,
now. It's
it's
like
tough, man.
they said that little bit of kindness, that can honestly make the difference between somebody like taking their own life or not.
Absolutely. And you don't know, and you don't have to know. Just be the best person you can be.
Yeah.
But someone's like, oh, it costs nothing to be nice. And I saw somebody and he goes like, yeah, well, how much does it cost to be mean? It costs nothing, right? Yeah. It's
costs a lot.
you have a choice. They both cost nothing or a lot, but you get to choose which one you want to do.
So
It's easy.
I think it costs you more being mean.
in the long
Because
run,
It can
in the long run.
absolutely, absolutely.
Being nice, you win.
Yeah, but it's
Even
not
if
hard.
you don't get anything, you still win.
Right. And we've all been there. Like I've been in bad moods. I've been stressed out and
Yeah,
you know,
we
snapping
all
at
had
people. Yeah.
ego in our nightlife
Right.
days. Like we were all nice to each other, but like there's definitely times our ego showed
It's
and you got
important
into
to
it. And
be able to communicate that later, even if it's a day, a week, a month, a year later. Be like, hey man, my bad about that day. I was stressed out. That goes a long way.
Yeah.
That's it. Or just like, fist bump somebody, be like, hey, dude, my bad. That's it.
90% of the time, it's nothing personal
No,
towards
no,
them.
it's
just
not.
it's a trigger. It's
Right.
the moment you're stressed with a lot of shit, and like they just happen to be at the wrong
Dude,
place at the wrong time.
exactly. I'm at the festival. I'm getting, hey man, we need. Can you come? Like, oh hey, let's grab a drink, or can we show? I'm getting pulled in. I'm like, guys, I had an anxiety attack last year. It's been happening to me a lot lately with like social situations where I used to love being in clubs with a bunch of people on a table and events. It was awesome. Now it's like I got to take a step back. I got to breathe. I got to go in the back and just like relax and regroup because you're on all the time and people want stuff from you.
Isn't
I've
that?
noticed that
and
too,
it's-
man.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, same. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say the same. Like, just going out to like our producer had a show last night, and I needed to charge my battery.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
what
I missed
is.
it, bro. Love you. But like I know that we have this job all weekend, and I know that I have to be on and on and on and on in my
Yes,
acting
yes,
shit. Like
yeah.
you're right. You have to know when to step back, take time for
and that
yourself.
comes with like being a good person and being liked and stuff. We're modest, but people like hanging out with you guys. And people keep coming up to you because you're a good person and they enjoy you and they're friends with you. That should be a testament to who you are. It's a good thing that we have anxiety because people like us. I guess.
I mean, I guess if you want to look at anxiety in a positive way,
Yeah.
like we can float it like that.
But
yeah.
that happened to me at the festival last year, and a friend grabbed me. She's like, "Hey, come outside. I got you." We went out there and sat in the cold and just like breathe, hang out. It's been happening to me. I don't know what it is. I'm not like diagnosed. I don't care, but it does happen.
Right. It's wild. Since the pandemic, more people are struggling than ever before. And a lot of it's just the uncertainty of the world. Like, all of our jobs are in a way like that.
100%.
So it's like you're trying, like subconsciously now, we're all trying to be perfect to make as much money as you can because I don't know when the this is going to happen again.
Right. Yeah, even people in jobs that have a 9 to 5 and like the retirement and 401k, like even those people like had the rug pulled out from under them.
I also think we've been overstimulated for so long too. Like we've been in these events, these parties, these, like nothing can surprise us anymore. We've been through it all. So it's just like, it's overwhelming because now it's not fun. It's more stressful.
Right. Agreed. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's just,
and I think the stakes are higher now for all of us.
Oh, 100%.
Because we got out of that life. Now we stepped
now
up.
it's our own stuff.
Yeah, I like that you said that. The stakes are high, especially when you're doing something like new and different, like with the festival, and it gets to a point where it's kind of getting some like international notoriety. It's getting big. Eyeballs are on you.
Yeah.
And like to maintain and to like keep proving yourself, it's
gotta up it every year.
every time, you got to keep growing or at least sustain it. It's a lot of pressure. It's tough.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like being like a man these days in a relationship too, there's like stresses at home and stuff that come with it. There's so many things. There's so many layers to
as
to
we
this
get
life.
older. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I believe if you have enough love for something, the anxiety is going to come with it because you don't want to lose something like that.
Absolutely. You stress yourself out on purpose, but it's for the love of the game.
Yeah.
But that's another big thing about having community. Like I'm very open about my anxiety attacks, my panic attacks, but I know that like when I'm in a situation in a work, like EDC Vegas, it's insane. But I know if I have a bad anxiety attack, my team knows. They know the signs. So they can be like, yo, let's take a break. Yo, I'm going to go take care of this. Take your tent. My boys know it's like, yo, let's get you this, this, and this. Like, so I can't stress enough to people because I used to get things like that too, but I wouldn't tell people. That's what maybe had a mental breakdown where it's like the biggest advice I give to everybody, it's especially in those scenarios when you're throwing these high-end things, yo, if you're having a hard time, talk to somebody.
Yeah, and
tell
you couldn't
somebody.
tell anybody or even know how to say it. Like it wasn't a thing. You were weird if you were like going through something.
Oh yeah, we talked so much about that, like when we were in the nightlife
it's crazy,
days.
like in this
It was
last
so
10 years.
cutthroat, though, too.
And we would just self-medicate. There's a shot. Let me take that. I'll feel better.
That was just normal. Yeah, it was self-medicating. I mean, I look back and like we were just, it was crazy how much like we were going out and like how much we were like consuming.
Right.
It's nuts.
And like you didn't want to miss anything.
Right.
It's like, and it's
Your
not
social counter was full.
Well, but it's not that it's not that I wanted to be at everything. I couldn't sit home by myself.
Oh, right.
I couldn't look myself in the mirror. I couldn't be alone because it would spiral so much that I would need to get high or drunk and be out amongst people. So I didn't. And the funny thing is, thinking about it now, it's like, yo, man, everybody was doing the same thing I was doing.
Yeah,
they were all miserable and happy by themselves too. And it's just like, wow, now that veil is lifted, that puts this lifestyle into a whole new.
The fact that we're sitting in
perspective
this room having this conversation and where we were 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, it's mind blowing. Like how open we are and how much more knowledge there is and how much sharing. There is amongst. And I say men because it's just like we never talked about it.
No,
it was a whole different thing. So it was like swept under the rug.
I mean, the largest killer in males in the United States is suicide from the ages of 24 to 40. Men range in the 77 percentile.
Wow.
Because people just aren't open to talk about it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the big
Wow.
another big thing we wanted to do with this podcast.
That's
it's
a
like
scary,
yeah, dude,
scary
it's
data.
crazy.
Yeah.
Where it's like everyone's going through
It's frightening.
something, and especially where you were raised, or just the mindset your parents had of you can't cry. That's not a man thing to do. Like,
right.
I mean, just in the last few years, of the people who we've lost, like, to suicide,
Yeah.
incredible,
Yeah.
man. Like, people, childhood heroes, the Green Power Ranger, like,
The Green Ranger,
when we
yeah.
all heard about Twitch, that was
Twitch?
like,
Yeah.
wow.
I know.
That was like, he was like one of the nicest people. I remember like it just so many people up because you're just like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I saw this thing online. It said, like, check on your funny friends. They're not okay. Like,
Because the
it
masses,
kinda
the masses,
hit
the
home.
fucking,
Oh, yeah.
right.
cover
Oh, yeah.
it up, man.
You never
It's
know.
like-
You're like, oh, he's the best person. He's the most positive person. He's doing that. That's a facade. He goes home and he flips that switch off.
right.
To just like wipe off your clown makeup and sit on the couch. You're like,
Exactly. Yeah.
now
There-
what?
There's a bunch of people like, I would have never think you would have tried to commit suicide. I'm like, you would never actually think to ask me what my life is actually like
100%.
beyond what you're seeing.
Right. Yeah. It's
And your
so
judgment.
Big. It's so big. And it's important to have conversations like this and people like you guys doing what you're doing.
Hey, we're talking here.
Yeah. Hey, that's why I didn't come to your show. You do that when you go to his next show.
But yeah, having the conversation is the most important thing right now. I mean, not just even on this podcast, in general. Like, the world is so f***ed up. People are hurting. They're struggling. Like, just talking to somebody and letting them know, yo, I'm there for you, or yo, I'm going through that too,
Yeah.
can change the course of their whole day, their week, their life.
Absolutely.
Like,
And I'm
everything.
so lucky to have good friends.
Oh,
Like, if I'm not saying something, they know. They'll pull it out of me. Like, dude, I know you. Come here.
Yeah.
What's
like,
going
yo,
on?
so like Ramsey.
Yeah.
If I don't talk to Rams for a week, he'll call me, hey, bud, just want to
Yeah,
check in on you.
yeah.
I haven't heard from you this week. And
Yeah.
usually we'll send
Like, you
text.
send
I'm
me a message, love
and I'm just
you.
like, yo, man,
Yeah.
you're just such a sweet human being.
That guy is the biggest ray of sunshine I've ever known. He's
the
unreal.
best.
He's
But like you said, the amount of people who and say like, "Oh, LA is a shitty place. They're shitty people," and it's like, no, it's really not. Like,
Right, well,
we're
you get-
fortunate. We're
Right.
fortunate enough to have amazing people around us.
Right. Well, people get like sucked into different groups, and then they're like they kind of make that their home, and they feel like that's it. That's their clique, and that's what's really hard. You see people like, oh, people are so shitty. I'm like, you hang out with, and not a bad thing against promoters. I'm like, but your like family is promoters whose job it is to go to events and host and drink and go to stuff like that. That's the world that you subscribe to.
Yeah.
You know what comes with that. What if your like best friends in your circle were guys that had startups or
Right.
had their
It's
own
your party
entrepreneurs,
friends.
right?
Your party, all
Your
my
party
party
friends.
friends disappeared when I got hurt and I
Yeah.
wasn't partying anymore.
Right,
Mhm.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I also think it's like everybody's leveling up. It's like we're all more on that wavelength because there's a bunch of people that I used to hang out with that I don't hang out with anymore, but are doing the same thing they were doing 5 years.
Yeah, it's crazy how like you sometimes like and I use the word evolve, like grow, whatever, move forward, and you see the people kind of doing that as well. It blows my mind, man. I put myself in their shoes. I'm like, if I was still doing that, I don't think I'd be around today.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. We were all
Takes a
fucking
toll on you
degenerates,
mentally,
physically,
everything
emotionally,
across the board.
spiritually. Like you're just it drains the
and with
fucking life out of
family
you.
and stuff too. Like the last thing you're thinking about is like getting up on a Sunday and going to your parents' house to have lunch with them. You're not talking to your folks as much. And I've got 2 younger brothers like that. Like I could have taken my days off and done more with family that I didn't because I was either hungover or like going to another party.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean priorities just change. But I mean, we had a lot of fun on those fucking party days.
We had a blast. It's so funny explaining this shit to
So,
like my parents when we were young.
Oh, you can't. But you've been to so many parties and events. Give me your favorite Ledoux 14 story, like because we talk about that a lot in those days, and we always love to reminisce with everybody from our circle back in that day. It's like, what's your wildest LA party story?
No.
And then,
First of
and
all,
then
it's
while
a
you
tough
think of
thing to
that,
answer.
yeah.
Oh,
And then I want to like juxtaposition
Juxtaposition?
with your
Sound
favorite
effect.
like film festival
Yeah.
story. So we get the two sides of like this crazy party scene and then the film scene that you have so much love for now.
oh my God! I'm so bad at like on the spot stuff, guys. I hate to ruin this show.
You would have seen that we were gonna ask this question.
I know you do, but I'm just still not good at processing it that quickly.
Well, tell me what you're excited about the film festival
Well,
coming up this year.
so like the nightclub days, right? It's not like there was a favorite. Well, one of the great things was like getting to do like one of my clients when we did Seth MacFarlane. That was awesome like you will grow up watching Family Guy and all that stuff like that to get to be there, to interact with them and to activate that. That was cool. You know, that was fun. But with that comes when you're casually just doing shots with Sean Penn and Mel Gibson. You know,
That's a good one.
That's pretty cool.
you know,
yeah.
just like fun, you know, situations like that. You know, some of these legends, you know, you bump into like, met Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson in the same night.
What?
I'm like, and then I met Elon Musk.
What party
the
was
next
that
night.
at?
Fuck with Elon Musk.
That was a more private party.
Okay.
But it's just kind of meeting these people and like rubbing elbows with them, which has been pretty cool. But I think back to one memory I had, and it was my birthday when we were promoting at Supper Club, and I think the Hangover was big then, but the Hangover like 2 wasn't out yet or something, and we called it Tomik's birthday Hangover 2, and we shot this movie. Like a little trailer, and it was the boys going around town, like going to like Dean May at a pool party on a roof, like, hey, have you seen Tomik? Like, we were out last night and we haven't seen him yet. Dean May's like, yeah, we were all messed up last night. We went skydiving at like midnight. And we were like, I think he landed on the roof at Supper Club. And like we played this movie on the screen at Supper Club, and then the guys ran out and they're like, hey, we're still looking for Tomik. Have you seen him? And then I'm lowered out of the ceiling in a parachute harness. Like I had parachuted on the roof with like bottles of champagne. and outside, as you walk into the lobby, the club had got me the tiger from The Hangover is in a cage in the lobby of the club.
What?
That can't be.
And I'm just like feeding it a bottle of milk while someone's like feeding me a bottle of beer, and it's like all over TMZ, and PETA was livid.
Oh my God.
I can imagine.
I mean, it's just this one of
that's
7 million moments that are incredible.
We could do a whole podcast just in all 7 million
We could
moments
write
if they're
20
like
movies
fucking that.
of all
we
different
could
genres
easily
based
make
on our
movies.
stuff.
I remember those movies that you guys started making. Like Dean had one where
Yeah.
he was riding a little mini horse
Oh,
on
yeah,
Hollywood
like all
Boulevard.
the 14 XIV videos.
Oh,
We would
there's
like do these
tons.
promo videos
Yeah, yeah.
every season before it started. Where like we'd go like find Tony Daly somewhere, and he's like waking up at somebody's house, like, oh yeah, I don't know what happened last night. Go ask Dean, and then we'd like go find Dean.
Yeah.
It was great. It was amazing.
There was one video I remember where it was like an
The
opening for
content
14 and Dean's birthday, and like I remember watching it where Dean was walking like this in all white, and then they let out
Yeah.
doves, and the doves
Yeah.
flew.
Yeah,
and I'm
well,
just like,
Dean would do these all white parties for his birthday,
But
and
he
he'd
would
show
wear
up in
blue.
all red.
yeah,
Or-
he would wear blue, like just we're like
He's
what
just
the
in a red suit.
yeah, and purposely, and you're just like and
Yeah, but
every
that
time-
was like kind of like where like the fun like ego and the personalities came in. You know, every Sunday at 14 was a theme.
Yeah.
I remember like
yeah,
it was
I
like
remember working it. We'd have to get dressed up every Sunday.
what was it? Cinco de Mayo Sunday. Like I went down to Alvera Street and bought a head to toe mariachi outfit. We went all out. Like everybody knew every week that Tomik's rolling in with like head to toe and whatever the theme is.
You remember when we used to do
That was the flex.
Remember we did the party rock,
Oh,
the party rock
is it
theme,
all
and
the with the
Red Food would be
glasses?
there,
Yeah, Red would be there.
and that was when that song came out too, and it'd be party rock
Yeah.
all
Oh
over.
my god.
That shit
We
got
were just living in
wild.
these like incredible like moments in history, at least in like nightlife and music
Oh, that was
and
definitely in
entertainment.
nightlife
Yeah.
history. Like I remember the zoo theme, and we were all like zookeepers,
Yeah.
and there was blow up animals
bananas.
everywhere. Like
And
Oh,
mind you,
God.
for people watching and listening, this stuff is online. You can go.
you can go look.
Do not. It is not online.
Yeah.
Do not Google it. I don't
Do it. Look for
exist. I have to
Tomik.
scrub
Yeah.
myself off the internet.
We talk about it. Like I've never been or never will be to another party like that ever again.
Ever again. It's incredible what we did. And listen, there's going to be fun parties and people are going to keep doing what they're doing. But it was just this moment in time that was so special. And being in like a major city like Los Angeles and the people that we were with and the experiences that we had, the things we saw and who we did those things with will be so special.
It was also
Yeah.
mind blowing. Like guys would come in and spend $100,000 on bottles, not to drink, but to take
Yeah.
it and spray everybody.
Yeah, so if I
Spray
knew
Dom.
now what I knew, if I knew then what I know now, like I would have been like, yo, hey, Mohammed Abdul Aziz, like, don't buy $50K worth of bottles. Like, I'm producing this short.
Yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
could really
Buy
use that money. Yeah,
25K,
yeah.
give me the other 25.
Yeah, come invest in this movie with me and stuff. And a few of our promoter friends did that. They had these wealthy clients. When they got into producing movies, they kind of brought them over too. Like, hey man, you're going to spend like $1 million this year on going out and partying. Like, yo, give me half of that. Let's produce a movie and make some money on it.
Yeah, here's my
Like,
pitch
that's-
deck on my phone. If you see here.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the bottle menu, but at the bottom of it is
It's
the
a pitch deck.
He's like, what is this international distribution for 500,000?
Don't worry about that. Just sign, send it
Just
sign.
sign,
Yeah, just sign.
And if you could leave like $100,000 tip to
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
it'd be
yeah.
really
Yeah,
great.
that's
Yeah.
cool. That's for P&A. That's for marketing.
And then you save some of the bottles to throw at your rap party.
Your business card's the label.
Oh man.
Man, and that was the eras of after parties. You guys remember that? Like, because in California we stopped serving alcohol at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Granted, we'd hang back at the venues because we knew the owners and kind of keep going a little bit, but it was like, where are you going? What's the address? You pass the address around and go to after parties. Remember that shit?
Oh, yeah.
And for some
There's
reason,
always
everybody, like, there was just like all these guys with mansions back in the day. Like, Sunset Plaza.
But the shitty
like
part
Bird
is back in
Streets.
the day before Uber was a real thing. It
Taxi
was,
cabs, bro, or
but
craving
it was
the
a
cars.
commitment though, because if you took a taxi, you didn't know if you were getting a taxi back.
100%.
And you were like, "Am I gonna have to?" And then you're like,
Yeah, how many
"Am I gonna
times
have
you
to
walk down the hill,
as
right?
the sun's coming up?
Yeah.
You're
There's no
sweating?"
service because they say the cab's on the way and that's it.
Oh, yeah,
You don't
it's
know how
not-
long. Also, you'd have to like go in the kitchen and like rummage through drawers and find like a phone bill to see what the address
Yeah.
of where you
You
were
didn't know
at.
where the
You're like,
fuck
oh,
you
where
were.
am I? They're like, I don't know. You'd wake up somewhere. You're like, oh god.
Bro,
gotta
I
go
remember
look
there'd
at
be
the
after
mail.
parties, so like you couldn't drive up there. You had to go to a location, and we'd have to take a. There's a lot of
Yes,
parties we've
yeah,
done.
yeah,
where
yeah.
we can't
We
give
did a
out
lot of
location.
shuttling
We have to
stuff.
take shuttles.
Yeah.
To and from. That was the worst.
Yeah, it was bananas, man. The cab days, that was nuts. And then you like try to pay with a credit card, like no, cash only. I'm like, I'm see your credit card machine.
Oh, man. I mean, that's why they went out of business. Well, not out of business,
Yeah.
but you know.
I remember when Uber first happened. I have a buddy in LA who like called me one day and we were chatting. He goes, dude, have you heard of this Uber thing? I'm like, no. He goes, I just found out about it. My cousin works up in tech. You like, it's like a cab, but it's on your phone. You put in your address, they pick you up, and your credit card's on there. And
All black cars.
yeah, it was
remember?
black cars.
Yeah.
And you open the app and there was about 2 or 3 cars that only really existed because it just started. And we always joked about like he had one car and I had one. So we just wouldn't tell anybody about Uber. But I would just use it. And all my friends would be like, how do you have like just like Lincolns picking you up?
Yeah,
all
you
the
show
time?"
up at a Lincoln, right?
Yeah, but because we used to pay for the SUVs, like
Yeah.
the Escalades.
Yeah.
We'd pay homeboy like $500 for the night. We'd all meet at a house to pre-party. We'd get in the SUV, take us to the club, drop us off, wait like 4 hours, and then pick us up and take us home.
Or the after party and then home.
Yeah, after party. Yeah, but when Uber happened, those guys that we were paying $500 a night were now available for like $65 or whatever. So they started like just selling liquor and stuff out of the trunk of their car to like try to make money. They were selling booze at after parties after 2 a.m. It's
Remember like
crazy.
20 years ago, like don't get into cars with strangers. Don't eat any random food or drinks that somebody gives you. And now we
Now
just
you're like, hey man, can I get in? You have candy for me?
like I have water. I
Yeah,
have
can I
chips.
have
You
that
guys
bottle
want some
of
this?
liquid that I don't
Like,
know what it is?
oh, don't worry about this. Don't worry about this thing we're putting over your face. You'll be fine. Like damn, times have
Bananas,
changed.
bro. I love it. But we just can't go back now. This evolution.
No, but I don't. But like, I'm grateful for where I was in the past. I don't want to go back
No,
because the
no,
trajectory
no.
going forward
Right.
is so great. But we had to fall here, learn here,
Absolutely.
to walk here.
Yeah.
Having the memories or lack thereof is enough for me now.
Yeah.
Right?
No, hey, we lived a life, man. The bucket list is pretty much crossed off. There's got some couple weird stuff still left on it, but
What are some of the things
Yeah.
you probably
Yeah.
up till now and being what you're doing? What are a couple of things that you're most grateful for that really help you just keep that perspective and keep you going? Like, yo, man, I'm so lucky.
my
for what I do.
friends, man, my friendships, we've had a lot of people come and go. Like you said, we had like party friends and acquaintances and whatnot. I've had a core group of friends that have been there for me always, that have helped support me. I've been so fortunate about that. That's like the one thing I'm so grateful about. They've been my family day in and day out. They know who they are, and couldn't be luckier to have them. Yeah.
Community.
Yeah.
So what's
Community.
next on the
Community,
For sure.
your network, your circle. You get older and like you got a buddy who's been your friend for 20 years, but he's, still doing what he's doing and f***ing off or whatever. That's fine. You guys can still be friends, but you make less and
appreciate-
less time for people like that.
You appreciate
Yeah,
people
you
for
appreciate-
who they
yeah.
are, where they
Right.
are, and understand
Right.
that, I still got a lot of love for you. I'm
Right.
just over here doing
Right.
my thing, and it's nothing personal. You're just
Absolutely.
doing yours. It's
Absolutely.
people
Right.
grow up and
Yeah.
transition.
People grow up. Right.
So, let everybody know where they can find you, what projects you got coming out, where they can get more information on the Mammoth Film Festival.
Man, the festival's called Mammoth Film Festival. It's every year around February or March up in Mammoth Lakes, California. It's probably already happened. If you're listening to this now, it was awesome. You guys missed out.
Yeah, I was there. It was amazing.
You guys should have seen it. Oh man. And then the company's called Silver Cell Entertainment. Tanner and I, trying to produce a couple movies a year as well. So we're going to keep working on that. We'll keep you posted on that kind of
Funny
stuff.
enough, I got the script right here.
Oh yeah. Hey,
I really
there you
do.
go. Come to the festival, man. Come.
No, I
picture-
definitely want
We
to
got
check
the
it out.
buyers
You
up
gotta
there.
come
We're,
check it out,
we're building a
man.
market to buy movies and stuff. And
Sweet.
And yeah, so
It was
we'd love
great.
to have you guys up there. Come do a
Yeah, man,
podcast up there.
Like,
We got some
I just
great
can't wait
guests
to
for you
see
guys to interview.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I just can't wait to see your guys' growth too, because like
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I mean, I love watching my people keep killing it.
Hey man,
like,
I'm learning.
It's so
I'm
great
learning
to
stuff
watch.
every day. Like now that we've got liquor stuff coming in, that's I've know a little bit, but this guy knows it and I don't.
yeah.
So I call him.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
my network. This is my support. We call each other for stuff.
Yeah, man. I just want to say I was so excited to see when I saw your name pop up on our guest list. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, man. I was
looking
flattered
forward to
when I
it.
got the
I
call.
haven't
Yeah.
seen you. I haven't seen you in 6
You know what,
plus
though, Danny?
years,
Like,
man.
we just pick up where we left off.
We do, yeah.
That's what's
That's
kind of
crazy
cool.
cool,
You know?
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love it. Everybody's
And,
been
like,
doing
there's
their
still
thing.
so much support.
Yeah.
All
Well,
the
thank
time.
you, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
coming
are you
on.
kidding me? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being just a
Good
cool,
human.
generous person. And,
Oh, dude, I appreciate it. Same with
Yeah.
you guys. That's why this is so easy and so fun to do.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you. We're definitely gonna have you come back on. You, Tanner, would love to hear about all the projects.
Yeah, that'd be
but,
great. Tanner's got some stories for you.
Definitely, man. Yo, thank you so much. We'll see you next time on A Chaos. Peace.